Welcome to the Mole Confidential, Series 3, Episode 9.
All right, we are back, and this is the last Mole Confidential for Season 3. With us today, we have Kama, Piper, Extra, Giz, Danny, and myself. And we're going to be talking about the last episode and kind of how things are going to go forward here as we finish up Season 3. So Danny has the first topic.
And the first one is people asking about different time zones and how we fitted in like recording sessions. And the answer to that is people were in different time zones, so we had to pick a day that we knew most people or everybody would be around. So we picked a day on the weekend, and we also chose a time which was around the time in the evening for the UK and around the afternoon time for the US.
Okay, and next up, Kama has a question that was asked.
Yeah, people have asked, what is the compass plugin called that we use to teleport into rooms and stuff? It is part of the plugin for World Edit. So, yeah.
Okay, Piper?
We did have a comment saying that there are no more episodes now. Wrong. We do have 2 more episodes left of The Mole. Firstly, we've got the results, which is very special. And then secondly, we've got the Mole reunion, where we invite back all the players and we have a very long, in-depth chat about The Mole. Season 3.
Okay, and Gizmo, you have the next subject.
Someone had asked if we can do Season 4 in the Xbox 360 on Minecraft. No, not really, no, because it's going to be way too hard. I mean, that is if we're even going to do a Season 4. We may do a Season 4, but to have it on the Xbox would just be a nightmare. There'd be no plugins or anything. It would be too difficult to even comprehend doing it on the Xbox.
Yeah, it would be tough to reach the level of production that we do without a lot more work if it was done that way. All right, next subject. Somebody wanted to know what the group pot was for. Now, what that is if you've ever watched The Mole, the TV show, in any of the various countries that have it, the way that game works is each challenge earns money for the group pot. And then at the end of the show, the player who is the final survivor would get all that money that the team earned. So for the TV show, obviously, the players are wanting to win challenges to get as much money into the pot, because if they're the final survivor, they'll take all that money. Now for us, that doesn't work as well, because obviously we're not giving out hundreds of thousands of dollars. So what we chose to do was have it so the mole earned diamonds, the players earn diamonds. At the end of the game, the final survivor, if the final survivor has more money than the mole, the final survivor is the winner. If not, the mole can actually win the game. So we kind of mixed it up just a little bit. But part of that is just because the difficulty with the fact that we're not actually bringing players in and doing some major game where we're actually playing for real money. I mean, most of the stuff we play it just for the fun of playing it, because the players really enjoy playing and we really enjoy putting it together. So that's kind of how we do it. We use the group pot and the mole's pot as a scoring system. All right, and the last topic, and this comes up seems like every episode. People want to know, can the mole make him or herself lose the quiz on purpose? And the answer is no. The mole doesn't even really have to take the quiz, because it doesn't matter. The mole is never up for elimination. The mole takes the quiz just for fun. So in a sense, they're spending time taking the quiz just like the other players, so that they look like a player. But their answers mean nothing. We don't even score the mole's questions. We only look at all the other players, score their questions, and then that lowest score is who is eliminated. So the mole could take the quiz and answer everything right, everything wrong. It doesn't matter. All right, so here we are at Challenge 17. I think this was It Takes Three, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, this was Piper's creation. So, Piper, you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about it?
I'm trying to remember how I came up with this now. It was in season season 1 of the mole, the Minecraft mole, the one that we did. Um, correct me if I'm wrong, where we had 3 different rooms for the last 3 players, and we had to all work together to get out of the rooms. So I kind of wanted to do something similar like that. But we've kind of obviously got the darker themes. So we've got, the nether brick and bedrock and stuff. And the idea was that the players, to get out of the diamond block rooms, they had to connect, as you saw, connect everything and send minecarts to each other and get out of the rooms in a certain amount of time. And we all tested it and everything and made sure it was okay. And yeah, I actually really like this one. This is one of my favorite challenges. Mainly because I actually had to use my brain to make it. I think it was quite challenging for me to actually do it.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one. I mean, as Piper said, it was very much like my one challenge in season 1. If you guys remember, that was where there was the pressure plates on the floor in one of the rooms, which would light a redstone torch in the other room so one player could see. And there was just some signs and such that would lead them to how to get out. So I do like challenges where players can work together for a common goal, but also there's a little bit of separation among the players. So it makes it a little bit tougher to know if somebody's mole-ish. So I really enjoy these types of challenges, and Piper did a really good job on this one.
Thank you.
All right, so we are here at Challenge 18. Now, this one should look familiar. This really, I think in season 1, I don't remember, Giz, if you had much help building this or if you built this pretty much on your own.
No, I definitely had help. I think Danny helped me build the floors and some of the buildings. Probably various other people helped me build as well. It was a while ago.
Danny was around for season 1?
Not in season 1.
Was it not Danny?
No.
Who was it? Was it Mario?
Could
It was
have
definitely
been.
someone. I remember shouting at someone to build all the whole floors and stuff, and he did it wrong. And I was like, "Do it again!"
That could have been me. You always shout at me.
I thought it was you. Oh, I'm going senile in my old age. I am 1,000 years old, guys. Come on, give me some slack.
True.
So I'm going to give a high overview of it. I mean, you guys have seen this from previous seasons. I mean, we like this challenge. The one concern I think that all of us had with this challenge for season 3 was coming up with questions because the players don't really know each other like we know each other. I mean, when we did Mole, it was always the crew, friends of the crew or whatever playing. And, we've all played together and been on Mumble talking, day after day after day. So you really get to know people and what they're like. So, there was some fear that this would be a hard challenge to come up with questions that would work. And I think, Gizmo, you pretty much came up with the questions for this one. I don't remember how many people helped.
I think a few people might have helped, but it was definitely kind of like just random questions that I thought could be interesting to hear. Like the goat one.
I think
the goat one
came up with most of the the goat one.
I know.
So one thing we did on this challenge too, that because the way Minecraft works, obviously if a player is inside one of these final buildings, if the players can see their name in the distance, they might be able to start working out how to answer things, even if, in a sense, cheating to get to the answer. So we did it a little differently this year, and I think it worked out much better. Season 2, we actually put like non-player characters of the person hid in all the final buildings to try to confuse the players. So we had to go around and do that between each round. And that really was really tough, and we had some issues with that. Nothing that hurt the game, but it's just so much work, and the plugins are always glitchy. So
we do a test with that, and I had loads of clones of myself or something.
Yeah, I mean it was just a mess. So what I recommend that we do, and we ended up doing this year, was obviously once the players answered the quiz, about the questions about the other players for this challenge, then we would come in and work out the pathway that would ultimately lead to the room where we would put the player. And then what we would do is we would create a warp point for that room inside the final house. We would have the player, I think, back at the mansion that was hidden, and we would leave the player at the mansion. And then at the very end, right when they're here, say this was their final 2 buildings here, after they make their A or B choice, then we would warp the player, one of the helpers would just do it quietly, into the proper location. And if they were in one of these 2 buildings, they would come out. And we would break the door. If they weren't in here, then obviously they were teleported to the proper house, and we would go back, as we had to in this episode, go back to the start and work our way to that final player's location. But this way, we didn't have to do a lot of NPCs, and it made it so much easier to deal with. All right, so normally we would give you a preview of an upcoming challenge. Well, we don't have any more challenges, but this is a preview of our finale room. What could all this be? You'll have to wait and find out. All right, now normally we would take you to look at the eliminated player's room, but obviously we do not have that final eliminated player, so we can't do that. So what we're going to do now is move on to the survey results. Now this is different. Normally we cut the voting off after the week when we go into the finale, but I've left the voting up, so after the last 2 episodes, you guys have been still voting on who you think is the mole. And right now, you guys think Kama is the mole. Right or wrong, you guys will find out Friday. And finally, and for the last time in season 3, insert epic music singing by Giz.
The mole comment of the week.
All right, and the honor for the final mole comment of season 3 goes to Cassandra26, and he or she says,
The introspection of having to wait a week to see who the mole is killing me. I wanna know. Sad face.
there you have it. Now, normally we would be saying goodbye, and we will be doing that shortly. But one last thing we want to let you guys have a chance to. We did this in season 1, but we didn't do it in season 2, and we're going to do it here in season 3. This is your chance to send in some questions that you want to have asked to the players. It could be any of the players, it could be any of the helpers, it could be me, whatever you want to know, any questions about season 3, send them in. In the description of this video, there'll be a link to where you can submit questions. Now you're going to want to put your name and your question. If you send the question in as an unlisted video on YouTube, we'll actually air your question in the actual episode. Video questions have a greater chance of being used. Hint, hint. So, if you want to send us some questions for any of the players, any of the helpers, or myself about the mole, season 3, go to the link in the description of the video, send your questions in. We are going to be filming this Saturday, which is that December 1st?
Yeah.
So December 1st is when we're filming the reunion. So if you get your questions in before that, they have a chance to be used. So we hope to see a lot of great questions, and we'll try to pick some of them and use them during the reunion. Before we go, though, insert your sad faces. I do want to thank everybody out there who watched seasons 1, 2, and 3 of The Mole. I really appreciate it. I know you guys love The Mole. And I want to thank all the players. I want to thank all my helpers throughout all 3 seasons. But Piper, Danny, Giz helped greatly this season for me, and I really appreciate it. But, you know, it's been a great season, and it's sad that it's coming to a close. But if you guys have anything you want to say, now's your chance.
Thank you, Belbuzz, for coming up with the mole, for doing seasons 1, 2, and 3, and for putting up with all of us.
I need a tissue. Hold me, Buzz. Hold me. Hold me.
You get whacked on the head by a button. But yeah, seriously, thank you everybody for your support and for watching us and all the comments. We read them all and we love all the theories of what you guys have been coming up with, and I can't wait till the reunion.
All right, well, with that, let's say goodbyes and we will head out. Final Mole Confidential is now over.
Bye. Come on,
Bye.
don't
Watch that
listen.
back.